Today on XYZ with Erik Zachary, Billboard has controversially named Beyoncé the #1 greatest artist of all time, with Taylor Swift coming in second place. My issue isn't the Taylor versus Beyoncé argument. My issue is that we're 24 years into the 21st century. We're not even a quarter of the way, 25% into the century.
That makes a lot of logical sense, but I can tell you right now, the Beehive and Swifties don't want to hear any of that.
Okay, Shabuzi tying Lil Nas X for the longest #1 run at the top of the Billboard charts, and the Porsche Espresso machine for the low, low price of nearly $7,000. You too can treat your dad's midlife crisis. Let's get into it. Your Blackout Wednesday edition of XYZ with Erik Zachary. We're not blacking out. Roll the credits. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has weighed in on whether you should sing in movie theaters or not.
No.
I agree with you, Jordan, but let me finish the whole story. This is obviously related to a lot of people controversially picking one side or the other, whether you should sing at Wicked, which is at box offices everywhere.
Stop.
I agree. My thing is, I don't mind so much when it's a live concert.
That's fair.
Because it's loud enough. It's amplified enough. Movie theater sound systems aren't meant to be louder than the person next to you.
Yeah.
And I can't enjoy a good film without the guy next to me being on his cell phone, let alone someone singing "Defying Gravity."
I didn't like that right there.
Thank you.
But I think the bigger thing is
proving a
that
point.
this is just big privilege, all right? The Rock is a big man.
Yeah.
He can say whatever he wants unchallenged. Nobody's going to fight The Rock.
Well, also, Moana 2 is on the way, and he sings in Moana.
Right,
so
but hopefully they're not singing songs we know. Those are new songs. You can't show up screaming.
Like Wicked soundtrack, people know. Like Popular.
Stop.
Gonna be popular.
Stop.
Billboard has controversially, might I add, named Taylor Swift the second greatest artist of the 21st century.
Okay.
With the first position going to Beyoncé. Now,
Ooh.
I have thoughts here.
Okay.
As the resident Taylor leaning fan, I like both Beyoncé and Taylor. I'm
just be a Swiftie.
I'm not a Swiftie. I'm going to say I lean more Taylor. But I agree with this, but I also don't agree with any of it.
Oh.
Because how are you going to name someone the 21st century artist when we're not even a quarter of the percentage
okay.
into the century?
I see what you're saying.
Like Beyonce and Taylor could go away tomorrow. They're not, but they could. And someone else would have 75 years to become the artist of the century.
That's very fair.
So that's why I don't like this, because then you start seeing these tweets where the 20th century artist was Michael Jackson, the 19th century artist was Beethoven, the 18th century was Mozart. I'm also learning that Mozart and Beethoven were not alive at the same time. But taking aside the whole Beehive versus Swiftie thing,
sure,
they're both powerful women. They both shifted the culture.
Okay.
If you really are going to go over the last 25 years, then yeah, of course Beyonce has it, because Beyonce's been in the limelight for 25 years.
Oh, I see that.
Where Taylor has not yet.
Right.
But she probably will be longer than Beyonce.
Yeah,
all of that said, I don't think you name either of them that yet, because we're 25% in.
Somehow you just got both the Beehive and Swifties to come after
Good. Because I'm part of the Beethovenians. Our greatest artist of the 19th century. But yeah, Billboard just doing the most to make everybody mad during the holidays.
I love it.
They said, forget politics. Let's get into Beyonce versus Taylor Swift. Your XYZ ENT Entertainment Report. All brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people. Mom's Hot Take, all brought to you by T-Mobile. My mom joining the show to provide her perspective on what's trending. Obviously, this week, that is Thanksgiving. Mom, you have named your Zoom call titled Turkey Avoider. Explain.
I am not a Thanksgiving mom. I'm just not.
Boo. Yeah, Jordan's not a fan of this.
I know.
We've had this conversation ongoing on the show where it's not that I don't appreciate what Thanksgiving stands for. I get it. I'm all about family getting together, big meals. That's great. It's just the Thanksgiving holiday itself has... And the more I've explored this with my mom through our own therapy sessions, which is just me walking to the bus and waiting for 30 minutes because the transit system sucks.
Sure.
I've realized that, no, I never really had an Orthodox Thanksgiving.
Orthodox?
Like,
what do you mean?
Like, I'm an only child. It was me, my mom, and my dad until my grandma moved in with us when I was like 11. we would just travel. She was like, yeah, we went to Disney like every Thanksgiving.
Seriously.
Were we all just like eating happiness? Like, how does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, it just wasn't traditional like sit down Thanksgiving dinner.
So, and funny fact is that that's a great day to travel if you're a non-rev, meaning you don't pay for your tickets because you work for an airline. You get there and
it's like 12 people. Come on.
No, my mom works for, or she actually just retired. Congratulations, my mom.
Let's go.
But she worked for an airline, so we would travel standby, and the easiest time to do that is obviously Thanksgiving Day when no one's traveling.
Right, so we'd
You
get
don't
up
travel
early.
the day before
Right.
or after.
Yeah.
Sure.
But yeah, we would just go to Florida, and we didn't have a ton of money. And believe it or not, this is going to sound ridiculous, but like it was cheaper to go to like Florida and stay at like a cheap hotel for $50 for the night.
Yep.
Than it would be to like go get a nice Thanksgiving dinner somewhere in the city, like outside Chicago where I grew up.
And so we would go.
Turkey's like $27.
We would go over.
But we don't like turkey.
We don't like turkey. We don't like it. Boo,
So-
turkey hater.
Okay, this.
Come on.
I just don't. I don't care for the bird.
Yeah.
It's just not my thing. I didn't grow up with it either. I really didn't. So I think this has traveled through generations. My dad and mom weren't huge Thanksgiving people. We went over to aunts' houses and uncles' houses, and you know what I would do? I would produce a show. I would say to all the other little cousins, "Let's do a show for the adults," because they look bored. So I would get in there. We would do like mini Sound of Music, mini whatever the show was, Aristocats. And
When you say mini, I love the idea of you having like a full bulletin board where you're like, no, scrap that song, scrap this scene, like SNL right before they go live.
It was
In
like-
my
This gets
mind,
cut.
All I'm seeing is that on the day off, you're making everybody work.
Yes. Yeah.
No.
I am. Jordan looked at me like you are your mother's son because she would
Yeah.
direct shows, and this is essentially this is the whole reason we have a radio show. It's just I finally worked hard enough in the TV radio landscape so that I could just direct my own production every day.
Shout out to my cousins because they said you were always the star and the director. How did that work? I'm like, because it was my idea, bitch. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to do this. So you be to my left and you be to my right and I'll be center.
Okay. This got so, speaking of center, this got left of center talking about Thanksgiving. Also, every time for the listener right now hearing this, we remind my mom before we go live, don't swear. Which is something that I feel like most kids don't have to remind their parent
it
of.
Like a
Swearing?
loose rule for her.
Yeah, it's
Usually the opposite.
but is that B word really a swear word? It's
When you're
it?
calling someone it, yes.
okay. I get it. All right.
Anyway.
Well,
all
we've
right.
come up with a different tradition tomorrow. So
Yeah, we're going to the airport. we're bringing back our roots. You know,
That
I don't have a
sounds
big
about right.
family. It's my parents and I. And again, truly as many jokes as I make. No shade to the people that are doing the more traditional things.
No.
Jordan, your family has graciously welcomed us to Thanksgiving and Christmas
Yeah.
in the past, and you have an amazing spread, and we love it. But this year we're like, nah, let's go to the United Club. And let's hop on whatever plane we can this year.
More power to you, I guess.
Everyone, whatever makes you feel the closest to your family, I feel like is what you should do on Thanksgiving.
That's fair. That's a great way to put it.
We'll end it there.
Okay.
Right, Mom?
happy blessings to everyone that I will encounter tomorrow at the airport. I will be wishing you a happy Thanksgiving.
I really thought I was going to be like, please don't swear. And get close. Mom's Hot Take. It's all brought to you by T-Mobile. Get a great deal on an iPhone 16 Pro by going to T-Mobile.com. A Porsche branded espresso machine. So if you're having that midlife crisis and you can't go for the 911 car, you can get their 911, 911, however you want to pronounce it, Carrera RSR espresso machine. Limited edition, one of 911 models.
Okay, so this is a coffee maker.
It's an espresso machine, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's gorgeous, and it has like the knobs on it and the gauges on it resemble what you would see in a Porsche, like the speedometer and whatnot.
This is the most European thing I've ever heard of.
$6,555.
What?
It's available in two colors. Sorry, that's the cheaper model. The more expensive model is $6,949.
No.
It's just a solid stocking stuffer. Also, worth noting, Porsche's not Italian. They're a German brand.
My mind has been blown like 3 times. I had no idea.
When I think of the country of Germany, I'm not like, wow, they're known for their espresso beans that are native to the region.
Oh, my God.
The East Berlin roast. It's XYZ. AMC is ruining the moments and the vibes for musical theater kids everywhere that are showing up to theaters in green face paint.
They're shutting that down?
For the Wicked film, yeah, they're saying no, go wash your face. There's several TikTok videos of people like sad witches having to like wash it off in the bathroom in order to enter the theater.
That's messed up.
To be fair, this isn't like they're targeting Wicked or musical theater kids. They've long had a no face coverings policy for safety concerns.
Sure.
Remember the theater in Colorado?
Yeah. Okay,
so I get it. Like when you try to describe to authorities, what do they look like? It was a witch. They were green. I don't got much else for you. They ran away on a broomstick. I can understand the safety concern.
That's fair.
Also love the idea of there being a line of people to clean off their face. As someone that has recently worn
yes, that's right.
green face paint. Jordan, you were Elf buff for Halloween.
Unfortunately, yeah, no, this is really affecting the community, and AMC, please stop.
As we approach the end of an era tour, Taylor Swift, I'm mad at me too. It's fine. Vancouver, 3 dates, then it's all done. The final show, Taylor Swift's team has been selling no view seats, not like limited view, completely behind the stage.
What?
To be inside the arena or stadium for the Taylor Swift Eras
So
tour.
you can say you were there?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that camp outside of it just to hear it, so I get it. For $15, very reasonable, just to be inside. And when you think about it, you can like walk around the bowl and probably catch glimpses and buy the merch.
Okay.
$15 gets you in. The problem is they sold out immediately, and now they're reselling for $1,000.
What?
For seats that you can't see the stage. You can't see Taylor backstage. None of that. You were just simply behind the speaker line.
I just stay home. Like I don't get it.
You're better off outside the arena. At least you probably have a more like direct line of sound at that point. I don't know. It's the last show. That's what people. It's not the last time she's touring. That's what's crazy to me. But
I don't have anything positive to say.
So say nothing at all. Dumb of the day is coming up on XYZ with Erik Zachary, but we got a bonus dumb today, and it is the MTA. But it's always been the MTA. If you've ever been to New York City, you understand why this is a dumb of the day.
Oh yeah, they get it more times than not. But the New York transit system spent $250 million on an emergency phone system throughout their stations that I guess is only getting used for prank calls. From as simple as see more butts there to a plane landed on the tracks. They are getting riddled with prank calls.
I just, as someone that's lived there, this is just, I think I would, because it's not just like kids, like there's
adults.
There's a grown adults that this is their way that they're blowing off steam. They're like, you know what? I'm waiting for the F train. Let me just pick up the call. Ben Dover's in there. Dumb of the day. It's all brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people. I should have read this ahead of time. The meth-soaked cow onesie.
Yes, sir.
What do you mean, yes, sir? Like, this is the deal of the century.
This is immediately a dumb of the day.
Okay.
It takes the cake. A man who went to LAX airport trying to go to Australia got stopped because he had a meth-soaked cow onesie that I don't even know what you do from there.
What? I mean, no meth story ever makes logical sense to me.
That part.
But it's a liquid. That's as much as I want to be like, meth's the problem here. Like, you're going to get stopped if you try to bring a lotion through security. So what?
Not only that, the onesie is like very frothy. Yeah.
Do I want to ask what makes meth
frothy? I couldn't even answer that question for you. I read this and I only have more questions.
Do we have any more info? Like, did he just dunk it? Like, my most logical brain is like that was his way of trying to transport meth in a liquid form across country borders.
That is correct.
I got it.
But outside of that, like it was in his bag. They found it. It'd be no different than like having a soaking wet bathing suit in your bag, but just soaked with methamphetamine.
Wow. It's fragrant. And if you're wondering how we know that, our studio backs up to an alley where sometimes certain patrons partake in activities. So we do know that it's not something that's easily undiscovered.
Yeah.
We'll leave it there. But
they've apprehended the guy. It's about 2.2 pounds of liquid.
Does someone have to wring it out? Is that like some poor TSA
probably, yeah.
TSA worker's job? Like, all right, Larry, you're on probation, so you got to go wring out the meth now.
Oh, my God.
It's XYZ with Erik Zachary. Dumb of the day, all brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people. That's the end of the show. Normally we'd say goodbye at this point, but Jordan forgot to hit record on one of the breaks earlier.
I don't know why you just had, we could, the magic of cinema, they don't need to know that.
No, but this is for me. I just need people to know that you didn't do your job properly.
Get on with it.
We have a segment called Bad Reviews. Now, the good news is I did my part properly, so we already recorded the audio. That's going to the radio show. So all of those patrons are going to get a chance to hear the first pressing of it. But let's get into it again because it is very good. Bad Reviews. It's all brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Jordan.
Yes, this is on a hotel with no pool. 1 star, obviously. Supposedly 4-star hotel has neither a pool nor a hot tub. I went to the front desk to ask what the pool hours were, which I find hilarious, only to find out that the hotel doesn't have a pool. I was completely stunned. A $400 plus per night, supposedly 4-star hotel in San Francisco, of all places, and they don't even have a pool. Quote, there are only 2 hotels in San Francisco that have a pool, end quote. As I was told, I asked to speak to the manager. Her name was Elaine.
Oh.
She informed me
Wait,
again.
hang on. Wait,
Yeah.
you asked to speak to the manager about there not being what? They wanted them to build a
Build
pool?
the pool right now.
Get an inflatable pool?
That probably would have
Back up the water truck. My kids need an aquatic center.
Imagine this person doesn't have kids.
It's just an adult that went to a hotel
Well,
in the
don't
middle
worry.
of a city, by the way. It's like, I just need to get my rub-a-dub-dub on.
There is more.
Okay.
They were informed there's only 2 hotels in San Francisco that have a pool. They couldn't do anything, no discount and nothing. Come to find out, there's about 10 different hotels within a mile of this place that have a pool. The Holiday Inn San Francisco has a pool. That's all caps.
It's a Holiday Inn.
But the Hyatt Regency doesn't.
All
After
right.
informing the manager of this information that is out of date, i.e. they were both lying through their teeth, I was promptly told that I was, quote, welcome to leave and check into another one of those hotels very rudely. The lack of a pool was bad enough, but the rudeness of the staff was a real problem. I really hope this hotel hires better management staff because Elaine clearly isn't up to the task.
It's the manager energy with the expectation that they were going to fix the pool situation.
Yeah.
Imagine that the Hyatt Regency does have a pool and they just didn't like this person's energy.
That would be even better.
They're
That would
like,
be
we're
great.
not telling them where that is. No. What adult books a hotel in the middle of a city center, San Francisco or otherwise,
Right.
Chicago, LA, New York, Atlanta,
Yeah.
and you expect there to be a pool? Like, it's not Miami. I don't.
Hey, go to the Holiday Inn, I guess.
The bed doesn't vibrate either if you put a quarter in there. Bad news. As a 4-star location. All right, that's it for us. Hey, happy Thanksgiving.
Great segue.
From vibrating beds to Thanksgiving dinners. Only here on XYZ with Erik Zachary. Happy holidays. Obviously, we're going to be playing some of our best favorite moments on Instagram XYZ content. You can find those through the holidays. We'll see you Monday with a brand new video episode right here on Spotify. Happy holidays. Hey, thanks for watching XYZ with Erik Zachary. And yes, I said watching because if you're listening right now, that's okay too. We love you too. But also the entire video podcast is available on Spotify. Spotify has video. A lot of people don't know that. You can search us for free. You don't need a membership or anything. Just search XYZ with Erik Zachary. Now, the show is also a radio broadcast show that airs in 34 different cities in conjunction with our partnership with Skyview Networks. If you want to see a full list of our affiliates, go to xyzwitheasy.com. This week of XYZ with Erik Zachary is brought to you in part by our friends at Optima Tax Relief, Straight Talk from Verizon, O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people, and T-Mobile. XYZ with Erik Zachary is hosted and created by myself, Erik Zachary. It is co-hosted and executive produced by Jordan Foster, produced by Trace Hamilton, John Carlo Fazek, and Mom's Hot Take correspondent, Virginia Zachary.